This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining the City of Kingston Heritage Area Commission and Historic Landmarks Preservation Commission for a joint monthly meeting of each of their respective commissions. Today is Thursday, December 3rd, 2020, and my name is Suzanne Cahill. I'm the Planning Director and Organizer for this virtual meeting. Before we begin our meeting, we would like to go over a few meeting guidelines to help navigate this system as efficiently and respectfully as possible. We ask that members of the public and the press remain muted and off camera for the length of the meeting. As the organizer, I reserve the right to mute anyone who unmutes themselves. Commission members and city staff will control their own mute button. Good practice would be to mute yourself if you are not speaking to avoid background noise and feedback. If a commissioner or staff wishes to speak, they will raise their hand. As the organizer, I will call upon them before they speak by stating their name clearly for our audio listeners and transcript recording. All of our meetings are recorded. Both video and written transcriptions will be made available to the public on the city's website at a later date. In lieu of public speaking during the monthly meetings, we requested all comments to be received by 2 p.m. on Wednesday, December 2nd, 2020. Comments will have to been emailed to J. Edelson Sappert at kingston-ny.gov or hand-delivered or placed in regular mail or in the drop box at City Hall. There were no comments received. All meeting materials, applications, supporting documentation, any comments may be found on the city website by going to www.kingston-ny.gov, and on the homepage, scroll down to the bottom under meetings where you see the joint meeting posted. Click the link for the agenda and you will find universal hyperlinks for all the information. If at any time you have an audio issue, please send a text message to the following number, 845-443-0416. I will repeat this number again, but please be aware that phone calls will not be answered during the meeting. The number again to text is 845-443-0416. As the organizer for today's meeting, I reserve the right to lock and pause the meeting to eject anyone who has behaved inappropriately or to enter into an attorney-client conference if needed. On behalf of the commission, I wish to thank everyone for their continued patience during this unique time, and I wish you and your family good health. I now call the meeting to order at 6:35 p.m., and I will turn the floor over to Chairman Hayes Clement for the HAC to introduce all of your respective committee members. Hayes? Hayes, we can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Now we can.
Okay. I'm Hayes Clement. I'm the chairman of the Heritage Area Commission. I'm going to introduce our members present tonight. If you could just raise your hand as I introduce you. Dean Barnes, Bonnie Howland, Michael Del Priore, Kevin McAvoy, and absent is Abigail Robin. We have a quorum. I will go ahead and entertain a motion to approve the minutes of our October 28th, 2020 meeting. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion by Bonnie Howland.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Dean Barnes. Anyone have any questions or issues with the minutes as presented? Hearing none, I will call for the roll call vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes? Dean Barnes?
Dean, you have to unmute.
You have to unmute.
He is unmuted. I can't, Dean, we can't hear you. Can you try again?
Taking that as an aye. Bonnie Howland?
Audio is off.
Bonnie Howland?
Aye.
Michael Del Priore?
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy?
Aye.
Okay.
The ayes have it. Thank you.
Okay. Now, this is Sue again. I'm going to ask Mark Grumblat, if you would please introduce your commission members and then do your minutes adoption and move into the joint meeting.
Evening, I am Mark Grunblatt. I chair the Historic Landmark Preservation Commission. I'm going to introduce each member of my commission. Please unmute and let me know that you can respond. All right. Hayes Clement.
I can hear.
Peter DeMuth.
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Here.
Robert Tonner.
Here.
And Andrea Pugh.
I am present.
Okay,
We too have quorum. I will entertain a motion to approve last month's minutes. Thank
So
you,
moved.
Robert. Hayes,
Second.
shall I take that as a second?
Yep.
Thank you. Are there any amendments or questions concerning the minutes as submitted? All right, seeing none, I will call the roll. Hayes Clement,
Aye.
Muth. Oop, you were quiet there, Peter.
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy,
Aye.
Connor,
Aye.
Hughes.
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative.
okay.
All right, so next order of business. If I recall correctly, this is one I must recuse myself on.
That's correct. So Andrea,
Yes.
you will take over as the, oh no, Hayes, actually. I'm sorry. Hayes, you take over.
That would have been fun.
I apologize.
Okay.
Hayes,
So
you will
this is-
then be acting chair for Heritage, or you are chair for Heritage and acting for Landmarks. This is
okay.
a joint
So
discussion.
23 Crown Street, the applicants are returning to seek approval for another round window in the attic, same as that already approved for the front, but for the rear. The applicants are Megan Jeannie Barron, owner and applicant. Are you here, Megan?
Yes, I am.
Can you
Yes,
just
I
sort of
am.
give us a brief explanation?
If it's okay, I have my architect, Jordan, also on this call.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Hi there, everybody. There's much more little boxes on this screen than the last time we had a Zoom meeting. Is the commission expanding, or these are other applicants?
It's a
No, Jordan,
meeting
this is
of
the
two
joint
commissions.
meeting
Oh,
of
great.
the Landmarks and Heritage Commission. So they both are reviewing the application simultaneously, but we'll take separate votes.
Very good, yes. So the first time we were before you that I was representing the project, 23 Crown Street, we had proposed to raise the roof to thereby allow a habitable third floor. Right now there is a third level, but it's an unfinished attic. We are no longer proposing that. We proposed and got approved through a round window facing Crown Street. We're proposing a matching opposite gable end round window. When we had the third floor, there were stairs and other things that were interceding across some of the existing windows. We proposed to blank those windows out to make them faux. The commission, the HLPC did not particularly like that honoring of those existing windows, so we said, okay, we'll keep them transparent. Now there is no stair to the third floor because there is no third floor. There's only the second floor finished out into an apartment proposed. So to summarize, the two round windows, one at each gable end, one facing Crown Street, one facing the back, which faces towards, I guess, Green Street there. And no change to the windows other than they're the existing windows, but we want to raise them a little bit on the Green Street side of the building because that's where we're proposing our counters and for the kitchen sinks. That's all I can think to mention, but please let me know any questions or anything.
Any questions of Jordan? Any comments, any issues with this? Do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under seeker?
Hayes, well,
Yeah.
you're doing this first as heritage, correct?
You tell me.
Yeah, let's do it first as heritage.
All right, this is for the Heritage Area Commissioners. Do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under seeker?
Motion by Bonnie.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Michael Del Priore seconds. Motion on the floor. Any further debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote to approve the second round window as proposed for 23 Crown Street. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes. He raised his hand. I take that as an aye. Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
Michael Del Priore.
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you, Jordan.
Thank
So
you
are we-
very much.
All right, so is there a
Thank you
motion?
very much.
Is there a findings of? Go ahead.
Okay,
We didn't do a speaker vote on that.
right, you have to do, just recognize it as type 2 action under seeker for landmarks.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under seeker for the landmarks decision?
Andrea Putes moved.
Robert Tonner seconds.
Okay.
Any debate on that? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Hold on. I don't have everybody's. I've lost the agenda, unfortunately. Robert Tonner,
Aye.
Andrea,
Aye.
who else?
Peter?
Peter,
Aye.
and Mark is recusing himself. Did I miss anybody?
Kevin?
Yeah, me. Aye.
Kevin, sorry. Yeah, aye. The ayes have it.
Okay. I will read the findings of fact, Hayes, for you.
Okay.
Okay. And introducing the motion that the commissioners present find as fact that this second proposed round picture window in the attic of 23 Crown Street in the Stockade Historic District by the applicant and owner, Tree 2X Inc. and Megan Ginny Barron, if done according to the plans reviewed at this meeting and according to the procedure stipulated in section 405-64 of the City of Kingston's Administrative Code, is compatible with the historic character of the building and the district for the following reasons. That the proposed work is to take place at the 2.5-story building situated on the western side of Crown Street, second house from the intersection of Green Street and Crown, located directly behind the Crispell Slate Tappan House, otherwise known as the Daughters of the Revolution House on Crown Street, between Green and John Streets, with its main gable facing east, appearing on the 1870 Beers map of Roundout, Kingston, and Wilbur, having been built sometime before 1870 and after 1858, not appearing on the map of Ulster County of 1858 by J.H. French. That the proposed work will involve the change of an existing opening in the attic gable from a rectangular to a circular shape on the west side, matching that already approved by this commission earlier this year but not yet installed, and the installation of fiber cement siding onto the new extension of the second story, also on the west rear facing side of the building in the north. That this work will cause a material change to the external appearance of the property. That said window and siding will not detract from the character of the historic district or the building. That any changes or additions to the plans and/or work specifically described and outlined in the submitted application will be subject to further review by our commission prior to the work being carried out. That this commission's approval does not obviate the need for a building permit from the City of Kingston's Building Safety Division or any other required approvals from relevant coordinating agencies. Based on the preceding findings of fact, it is proposed to resolve that on the 3rd day of December 2020, the Commission grant a preservation notice of action to the above referenced applicant for the work as described herein and in its application to the Commission. Such notice be subject to the conditions contained in the foregoing motion. Hayes?
I'm Hayes Clement, so moved. Do I hear a second? From the Landmarks Commission, Robert Tonner seconds. Motion on the floor. Any further debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Andrea Putz,
Aye.
Peter DeMuth,
Aye.
Robert Tonner,
Aye.
and Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you, applicants.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Do you want to do 23 Pierpont? Do you want to do HAC first, Sue?
Sure.
Okay, the next item of business for both commissions is 23 West Pierpont Street. Application to rebuild of a front street facing bluestone retaining wall with new support posts, concrete footings, drainage, bluestone caps with the use of existing bluestone for the wall, new side railings to match porch, new concrete sidewalk and blacktop driveway. Applicant is Jesus Torres, and the owner is Edgardo Platero. Are either of you present, gentlemen?
You might have to come back to this one. The applicant called me and he's having trouble getting to where he needs to be, but he's coming. So let's come back to this one.
All right.
Okay.
Let's go. Is 41 Pearl, both of us?
Pierpont.
Yes.
Okay, 41 Pearl Street is an application for new signage at the Hotel Kinsley. I think is Tyson here from Timely Signs?
I believe Paul is
Oh, hi,
on.
Paul. The boss is here. Paul, are you here?
Oh, I'm definitely not the boss. Just ask my wife. Yes, I am here. Thank you. It's good. Thank you, guys. It's good to see you all.
I think I saw the application had renderings and everything for this. Does anyone have questions of Paul? I thought it looked fantastic, really good looking. Anybody have questions or comments?
Anybody from the landmarks can ask questions as well at this time. Okay.
Look great. Okay, on behalf of the Heritage Area Commission, I'm going to ask if there's a motion to classify this as a type 2 action under seeker. Do I hear a motion?
Motion by Bonnie.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Michael Del Priore. Any debate on that? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote on declaring this a type 2 action under SECOR. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes. Dean votes aye. Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
Michael Del Priore.
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
Do I hear a motion from a Heritage Area Commission member to approve the signage design for the Hotel Kinsley as proposed? Heritage.
Motion?
Motion by Michael Del Priore. Do I hear a second by Kevin McAvoy? Motion on the floor. Is there any further debate, any further question? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes.
He's aye.
Dean votes aye. Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
Michael Del Priore.
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
We
So
have
Mark, I'll-
heritage, Paul, or landmarks, Paul.
Sorry.
On behalf of the Historic Landmark Preservation Commission, do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act?
I'm Hayes Clement. I so moved.
Is that a second from you, Peter?
Yes.
Second from Peter DeMuth. Has anyone got any additional questions for the applicant? All right. Hearing none, I move that the commission present find as fact that the proposed signage for 41 Pearl Street in the Fair Street Historic District by applicant Timely Signs and owner Hudson Valley Kingston Development, if done according to the plans reviewed at this meeting and according to the procedures stipulated in section 405-64 of the City of Kingston's Administrative Code, is compatible with the historic character of the building and the district for the following reasons. That the proposed signage will be for the 2.5-story brick building with mansard roof on the northwest corner of Pearl and Fair Streets, originally built prior to the burning of Kingston, then the house of Judge Dirk Weinkoop, the current structure having been built around 1790 with a stone exterior, and then converted to existing brick in 1875. That the proposed signage will be custom cut pin mount brass, the words Hotel 11/16 inches high and Kinsley 2 1/4 inches high, with an overall width of 13.5 inches on one side and the street number 4 1/8 inch high on the other, mounted into the stone casement of the front centered entrance. That this work will cause a material change to the external appearance of the property, that said signage will not detract from the character of the historic district or building, that any changes or additions to the plans or work specifically described and outlined in the submitted application will be subject to further review by our commission prior to the work being carried out, and that this commission's approval does not obviate the need for a building permit from the City of Kingston's Building Safety Division or any other required approvals from relevant coordinating agencies. Based on the preceding findings of fact, I propose that we resolve on this 3rd day of December 2020, this commission grant a preservation notice of action to the above referenced applicant for the work as described herein, and in its application to the commission, such notice to be subject to the conditions contained in this foregoing motion. Do I have a second?
Second by Hayes.
He beat you, Robert. Then any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, I'll call. Yes, Andrea?
Actually, Sue, question. The owner of the project is actually a client of ours. Should I be recusing myself for this?
Yes.
Okay, then I'm going to do so.
Thank you for letting us know, Andrea. All right, I will call the roll. Hayes Clement?
Aye.
Luce?
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy?
Aye.
Tanner?
Aye.
Vote Andrea's recusal, and I vote in the affirmative.
Mark, do we need to vote on the type 2 seeker action? We didn't vote on that.
Oh, good point. Thank you, Hayes, for that catch. All right, I will enter. Are you sure? Oh, that was on the prior.
There was a motion and a second. We just didn't vote.
Right. Then I need to call the roll on the pending motion for declaration of type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act. So I'll now call the roll on that. Thank you, Hayes. Hayes?
Aye.
Peter DeMuth?
Aye.
McAvoy?
Aye.
Connor?
Aye.
Again, Andrea has recused herself, and I vote in the affirmative.
Okay.
All right, Hayes, you can take over on 295 Wall Street. Take that one first.
Okay, next item of business for the Heritage Area Commission is 295 Wall Street, application for signage for a new business. The marketed grain, stained dark walnut, and two like signs of same characteristics and dimension with logo grain. Irish Roots LLC is the applicant, and Base Equity LLC is the owner of the property. Anybody from the applicant here to describe the signage?
Yes, it's me. I'm here.
Okay, and your name?
Christine.
Christine, thank you for being with us. Can you just sort of briefly describe what you want to do? Everyone should have seen the photographs or the renderings of the signage.
We are putting up signage in stained oak that will actually match the footprint, for lack of a better word, of Duo's old signs with our logo. It is routed out in the signs. Nothing more than Duo had, and I don't know what else you need to know.
And no illumination?
No, sir.
Sue, Julie, is the professional staff okay with this? Does it meet all city regulations?
Yes.
Any questions?
Well, there's just the slight issue of there being two on one wall.
It is exactly the way Duo had it. Duo had the sign for their pantry, and then Duo, and then on the John Street side, they had the Duo sign. We are matching the signs exactly the way they had it.
Any commission members have questions of the applicant?
I used to go to Duo a lot, so I know exactly what she's talking about with where she's placing her new signs. So I'm on board for what she needs.
Thank you.
Looks good.
That also goes for historic landmark commission members. Do they have any questions for the applicant?
Okay, Heritage Area Commissioners, do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under seeker?
Motion by Bonnie.
Do I hear a second?
I am Shorty, IV 411.
Do I hear a second?
Second?
Second by Kevin McAvoy. Motion is on the floor to declare this a type 2 action under seeker. Any further debate of that? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes. Dean votes aye by raising his hand. Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
Michael Del Priore.
Aye.
And Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Second item for Heritage Area Commissioners, do I hear a motion to approve the signage for 295 Wall Street as presented?
Motion, Kevin?
Motion by Kevin McAvoy. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Michael Del Priore. Any further debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the roll call vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes. Dean votes aye by raising his hand. Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
Michael Del Priore.
Aye.
And Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
Thanks, guys. Mark, you want to take over?
Thank you. For members of the Historic Landmark Preservation Commission, do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act?
Hayes
Thank you,
Clement.
Peter. Hayes,
Second.
Second. All right, I'll take the roll. Hayes.
Aye.
Peter.
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
Robert Tunner.
Aye.
Andrea Putes.
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative. Does anyone have any additional questions for Christine about the Move that the commissioners present find as fact that the proposed signage for 295 Wall Street in the Stockade Historic District by applicant Irish Roots LLC and owner Base Equity LLC is done according to the plans reviewed at this meeting and according to the procedures stipulated in section 405-64 of the City of Kingston's Administrative Code, is compatible with the historic character of the building and the district for the following reasons. That the proposed signage will involve one 30-inch wide by 30-inch high by 1-inch deep joined pine board with live edge and relief carved with the logo "The Market at Grain," stained dark walnut, and two like signs with same characteristics and dimensions with the carved logo "Grain," all to be mounted to the panels above the storefront windows. That this work will cause a material change to the external appearance of the property, that the said signage will not detract from the character of the historic district or the building, that any changes or additions to the plans or work specifically described and outlined in the submitted application will be subject to further review by our commission prior to the work being carried out. That this commission's approval does not obviate the need for a building permit from the City of Kingston Building Safety Division or any other required approvals from relevant coordinating agencies. Based on the findings of fact, that we resolve on the 3rd day of December 2020 that this commission grant a preservation notice of action to the above referenced applicant for the work as described herein and in its application to this commission, such notice to be subject to the conditions contained in the foregoing motion. Do I have a second?
Second, Robert.
Robert? Thank you, Robert, for the second. Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the roll. Hayes?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Evan?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative. Thank you.
Okay, next item of business for the Heritage Area Commission is 8789 Green Street. It's a proposal for exterior painting and 5 new Kozak 3 hanging light fixtures and antique bronze finish. Isaac Friedman, applicant and owner. Are you here, Mr. Friedman?
Yes, I'm here.
Can you briefly walk us through what you plan to do? We did get a nice rendering with the paint colors specified. Thank you.
Do you hear me all?
Yes. Now we don't hear you.
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yeah, you hear me?
Yes.
You have to speak more, maybe closer to the microphone.
Yeah, you hear me?
Can hear you.
We can't hear you.
Can I come in instead of him? We're together. I'm working with him. Can I
Okay.
explain what we're doing? Basically, we're just we're repainting the exterior. We're trying to go with the existing colors and existing paint colors and whatever is in the neighborhood. The only thing that we're going to add is some lantern-style light fixtures on the front porch, and we're going to fix some of the corbels that have broken over a period of time. So we're going to redo that and clean it. Basically, that's it. Just paint existing colors, the colors that you see in the render, and the light fixtures. And we're going to restore some of the corbels on the porch.
Mhm.
The corbels will be wooden replacements.
No, they're not going to. We're leaving the existing ones. Some of them are missing. We're going to replicate to look the ones that are missing. are going to look exactly the same. We're going to replicate them.
In wood.
And what? Yes. There's a few that are broken. They're missing. So we're going to have someone redo them the same way.
Any members of either commission have questions or comments for the applicants? Any issues? Do I hear a motion from a Heritage Area Commission member to declare this a type 2 action under seeker?
Motion.
Motion by Kevin, Bonnie, second by Bonnie.
Yes.
Any further debate on that? Hearing none, I'll call for the roll call vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes. Dean votes affirmative. Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
Michael Del Priore.
Aye.
And Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Do I hear a motion to approve the color scheme proposed for 8789 Green Street as presented, including the 5 new Kozak, 3 hanging light fixtures, and antique bronze finish?
Motion by Bonnie.
Motion?
Motion by Bonnie. Kevin, do you want us to be the second?
Second.
Second by Kevin McAvoy. There's a motion on the floor. Is there any further debate about this? Hearing none, I'll call for the roll call vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes. Dean Barnes. Dean votes yes. Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
Michael Del Priore.
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
The ayes have it. I'll turn it over to you, Mark.
Hayes, on behalf of the Historic Landmark Preservation Commission, do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act?
So moved, Hayes.
Thank you, Hayes. Robert, is that a second?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, I'll call the roll. Hayes,
Aye. Can't hear you, Mark.
Peter?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you. Robert?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative. Any further discussion of the substance of the work proposed? Anyone have any additional questions? Any members of the Historic Landmark Preservation Commission? All right. Hearing none, I move that the commissioners find as fact that the proposed facade modifications to 8789 Green Street in the Stockade Historic District by applicant and owner Isaac Friedman, if done according to the plans reviewed at this meeting and according to the procedures stipulated in section 405-64 of the City of Kingston's Administrative Code, is compatible with the historic character of the building and the district for the following reasons. That the proposed work is to take place at the Jacob Tremper House, an early 2.5-story large stone house originally built in the Federal period, dating back to 1802, according to the 1969 Friends of Historic Kingston Mallow report, with a 19th century addition mansard roof to what was originally a hip roof located on the corner of Green and Main Streets, with its front porch facing southwest. That the proposed work will involve painting the facade woodwork, the window trim to be painted PPG 1001-1 delicate white, the frieze in PPG 1001-4 flagstone, and the cornice in PPG 1039-7 I salute. and 5 new hanging light fixtures in antique bronze finish on the front porch. That this work will cause a material change to the external appearance of the property, that the said facade modifications will not detract from the character of the historic district or the building, that any changes or additions to the plans and or work specifically described and outlined in the submitted application will be subject to further review by our commission prior to the work being carried out. That this commission's approval does not obviate the need for a building permit from the City of Kingston Building Safety Division or any other required approvals from relevant coordinating agencies. And based on the preceding findings of fact, it is proposed that we resolve on this 3rd day of December 2020 that our commission grant a preservation notice of action to the above referenced applicant for the work as described herein and in its application to the commission, such notice to be subject to the conditions contained in the foregoing motion. Do I have a second?
Hayes Clement, second.
Thank you, Hayes. Any other discussion from Historic Landmark Preservation Commission members? All right, then I will call the roll. Hayes?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
I also vote aye.
Okay.
All right. Are we circling back to West Pierpont Street?
Julie, do you know if they are on the call now?
I don't, but I can give them a call. Do you want me to call them?
Well, the commission, Landmark still has 2 of the zoning amendments we can move into discussion on. And you want to call them while we start those discussions?
Yeah, let me just see. Jesus, are you here? Okay, I'll give him a call.
Okay, thank you. Mark, do you want to move the HLPC on item number 7 now first? We can start that discussion. That was the carryover of the zoning amendment referral on the temporary use variance.
To recap for the commission, this is a zoning amendment that's being considered by Common Council to allow special variances during times of emergency when it is proved impractical or impossible to use a property for its normally zoned use. Does everyone remember that our discussion from last month on that one? I believe we need to mute.
I did.
Someone at the bottom. Thank you. What is the commission's will on our response here? This is not likely to have a big impact on us. The only time would be if perhaps there would be a signage issue or there may be some issue with handicap access in a change of use that we might be involved with. What do folks think of this? And Andrea, if you see any other sort of architectural complications that might arise from such a temporary use variance, I'd be curious.
I mean, there could be, but that's fortunately something I was able to talk a little bit with Dan Gartenstein on a couple days after we had our previous meeting. And it's going to be very strongly looked at with the building department. So whatever use may be proposed in that kind of a structure would very much be focused on as being a temporary use. And if anything was actually built on the inside, the applicant would be made known pretty clearly that it was supposed to be a temporary structure. So if you're going to drop $1,000 on this thing, you have to know well in advance that you're dropping $1,000 and that's on you to have to remove it later. So But again, as far as, building code goes, that's also going to be something that the building department is going to have to look at as well on a case-by-case nature.
For that insight. My trend on this one is that it has really very little impact on us. And I don't see where we would object or look for any changes in what's been proposed. I'm kind of curious what other folks think. Robert?
Yeah, I totally agree, Mark. And it's, it's like, I'd want to know there's an end date and all that, but that's not on us. So I think that, if it's all temporary stuff and it's special circumstances like COVID, then I think it makes sense to allow it. And, as long as as long as when they do it, they have venues to have it taken down and all that kind of stuff, but that's not on us. So I agree with you.
Mark, this is Sue.
Yes, Sue.
The planning board has taken a look at this, and I will share with you, they supported it with the following language or similar language. It would be another paragraph added to it that would read something along these lines. At the conclusion of the state of emergency or term of the temporary use variance, an inspection will be conducted by the Building Safety Division, and any and all improvements made to accommodate the change in use will be removed within 60 days. So that was the recommendation, that language be added to whatever becomes adopted by the council ultimately, if it becomes adopted.
Can that be extended numerous times, the 60 days?
That would be a decision. I mean, ours was that it has to be removed within 60 days. I mean, again, this goes back to it's temporary, and the individuals know going in that that is the fact. It will need to be removed unless the state of emergency continues. Dan.
Realistically speaking, if the 60 days expires and for some reason the property owner refuses to comply and remove the improvement, the remedy would be going to city court, and obviously city court doesn't address things immediately, but there would be a process whereby they could be compelled to remove whatever was installed temporarily.
To note that that's a report from Dan Gartenstein, City Assistant Corporation Counsel. And any other questions from members of the commission?
Yeah, it's Kevin. I'm just wondering, is there a demand for this? I mean, is it market driven? Are there people actually wanting to do a short-term use change?
It was prompted by one specific request in Uptown Kingston, where a property owner could not, or at least represented that they could not lease the property, the storefront, and they were interested in using it on a temporary basis, either for residential space or for some other use if they could get a tenant. Since the time it was initially proposed, we've had at least one, and I believe 2 additional similar requests in Uptown. One of them related to a current basement space that has been used for an office on one of the side streets that the property owner wants to use for temporary purposes for a residence. And a second that looks like the same type of situation, but we don't have details yet. So, how frequently it's going to come up, I don't know. But just since it was raised, it's come up 3 times now.
Okay, thank you.
And Dan, you're really comfortable that somebody who invests a fair amount of money in quote unquote temporarily converting something to a residence is not going to fight you at the end of the period of emergency or whatever about converting it back?
Well, the statute is going to specifically say that the costs of converting it for the temporary use cannot be the basis for a hardship or the basis for a permanent variance thereafter. And if they contest the removal at the conclusion of the period, the court's going to look at the statute and going to look at their agreement when they applied for the variance, and that should be sufficient. They are specifically agreeing that this is for a temporary period, and they cannot use it as a basis for a permanent, for a permanent variance.
Anyone have any comments specifically on the planning board's addition to a proposed addition to the statute? I think that's generally a good idea as well. I would want us to, I think I'm going to move that we empower Sue to write to Common Council a letter confirming our support for the proposed amendment to allow temporary uses by variance, and also indicate our support of the planning board's 60-day limitation at the end of the term of it. Do I have a second to that?
Second.
Thank you, Andrea. I'll call the roll on this one. Hayes?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative.
Okay.
Okay, next up is another proposal to change the zoning code. It involves formula retail uses. Has everyone had a chance to take a look at this one? This one's new. As I understand it, they are seeking to have our commission review all proposals for what they are calling formula retail. To me, it's chain retail, where they demand specific signs with specific logos displayed in specific ways among the on the buildings, and they've asked that it be in two particular zones. Am I right, Sue? C1 and C2?
No, C2 is the one right now only being proposed, I believe, right? Correct, Dan? It had originally started as C2 and C3. Dan, you're muted.
Yes, it's correct. It was originally going to be the C2 and C3, and then upon review of the map, it was determined that the C3 was just not viable, and that there weren't enough properties in the C3 that would properly fall under this. So it's been curtailed to just the C2.
Like a description of whether C2 falls in the Historic Landmark Preservation Commission's our historic districts. Is there
significant overlap?
All right, and does it? I'm a little worried that we might lose. We might have to remap outside the district. Is there any overlap pushing outside with C2? I've stared at the map a little. It's tough to visualize.
The HLPC doesn't currently have jurisdiction over the entire C2. Okay, what this would do would be expand the authority of the HLPC to address formula stores within the C2, even if they are not within a historically designated zone. So it's a slight expansion of your responsibility.
Thank you. So it would push out a little bit into areas that aren't our normal purview, but I don't see that as a huge. what are folks' impressions of this concept?
I'm actually unable to find this the wording of this resolution. I see it's in the agenda, but I wasn't able to click on it. I can't seem to find
I
it.
couldn't either.
Because there is no wording yet.
Oh.
Basically, it would be a simple amendment that would add a definition of formula SOAR. Okay, and it's a fairly accepted definition that basically mirrors what Mark was saying about a business that is required to have a formulaic appearance or product line or uniform or other formula type characteristic. And after adding that definition, there would be 3 lines added to the current HLPC statute that says a preservation notice of action or a certificate of appropriateness, whatever we end up calling it, would be required from the HLPC before such a business could open in a C2 zone. So that would be added to the HLPC statute, and then there would also be some minor language added to the C2 section of 405.
Are we questioning whether we're calling it a preservation notice of action again?
No.
No, what we had spoken about was a certificate of appropriateness. The current HLPC language is still talking about, preservation notices of action, and there are still inconsistencies within the code. Some sections talk about certificate of appropriateness, some talk about a preservation notice of action. I think we all accept it as basically the same thing.
Does the commission wish to table until the final language is prepared and presented? That's an option as well.
What, do we have a strict timetable on this one, or is everything still pretty open?
It's much like the other piece of legislation that you were speaking about. If you ask for more time, the council will certainly give you more time. They're not preparing to act on it at the next month's meeting. I suspect that the county hasn't even put it on their agenda yet. It's in front of you tonight, basically for a discussion and for you to articulate, whatever questions you have and whatever thoughts you have, and that will, be considered as we go forward.
Dan, it's Kevin.
Yeah.
I have one question. I just pulled up the zoning map for C2, and it looks like it's mostly in the Broadway, not entirely, but mostly in the Broadway overlay.
Yes.
Would heritage be a better option for this rather than landmarks?
We don't believe so.
Okay.
Mostly because heritage at this point is mostly an advisory committee, other than within the local waterfront development. And this board is already exercising discretionary authority rather than, just advisory.
But Dan, heritage is not advisory on the Broadway Overlay Design District. They are definitive.
Well, I don't think it's any secret that as far as I am concerned and my office is concerned, the two boards should be combined anyway, and that your jurisdiction overlaps. So, I'm the wrong person to ask about whether it should be on one commission or the other when I believe it should be one commission.
Right.
These are buildings you work with more frequently than we do. What are your thoughts as chair of Heritage Area?
You're asking me?
Yep, specifically you.
I'm okay with this, and I could see tabling it to just get the language a little more precise, maybe, but otherwise I'm okay with it. I don't have a strong point of view as to whether it should be under the purview of Heritage or HLPC.
HLPC, I think that we would be competent to review designs. That's sort of the heart of what we're expected to do. And we are bullheaded enough to go head to head with Dunkin' Donuts or whoever else decides. Should we want to flunk a neon pink and orange monstrosity somewhere next to a historic structure? So I am tempted to let this one ride for a month. I think it is still being formulated at the council level. From what I can gather from my read of it, they had a pretty rough draft for us to look at. I'm wondering if Dan would agree that they're likely to tighten this down some.
I didn't, you faded out there, Mark, that there's likely what?
That the language is going to get more specific as it is reviewed by Common Council and by your office.
Well, given that there's no language now, it by definition has to be more specific.
I think then I'm more comfortable waiting to see what comes out of Common Council. I think the idea is doable. I don't think it's a terrible imposition on the board, and I think we can effectively do the job. And I would like to see what precisely they have in mind. Is that a sense of other board members? Do you want me to go around the table here? Around the screen, I guess. What do folks think? A's?
I'm fine with waiting a month.
Yeah.
I do have a question. I'm looking at the info that was forwarded to us, and I see in the one email on this page, it says it would primarily only apply to 3 main historic corridors: Uptown, Midtown, and Broadway Rondout. But I mean, there are a handful of other spaces, just as I was looking at the zoning map as well. I mean, there's a fair amount of additional C2 and C3. So are we talking about only really historic districts or all C2 and C3?
The other properties that are in the C2 district will mostly, actually will all be grandfathered, and they'll be pre-existing non-conforming uses. There aren't all that many. And when we looked at the zoning map, we basically reviewed all of them. The uses that are currently there are not changing. So it's not like they will have to come to you and get retroactive approval for what they're already doing.
That makes sense. I guess my question is more of outside the historic district. I guess that's the part I'm a little fuzzy on. Is are we reviewing any new project that develops in a C2, C3?
Any new project that is proposed in a C2, whether or not it currently falls within a historic district. So again, it would be slightly expanding this board's authority and jurisdiction over properties that are currently not under your purview.
I guess that's the part I'm taking a little bit of caution with, is that I feel like we're reviewing a lot more than just historic purview at that point. And I don't know that that's something that I don't want to say not qualified to do, but that's our main focus is historic. And if we're reviewing projects that aren't of a historic nature, I don't know, that I get a little fuzzy with that.
One other that is most qualified to review architectural features and issues that would be considered in this type of review. And that's the thought process behind the proposal. And again, it's a proposal that's being put forth by an individual alderman that has some support. I don't know how much support on the council, but the idea was that given the composition of this board and the experience of this board with architectural features and the types of review that you do, it's most appropriate to be here.
And just one other point that I've noticed, I know they talk about the Rondout area and Lower Broadway, but there is no C2 zoning down there. So this would not apply down there the way it's technically being thought of right now. That language would have to be modified.
It looks like there's like a tiny little pinch of one but not very much.
No, it's really all RLC and RT district, and then the RFR along the
And
water.
again, Sue is referring to the initial communication that was
Right.
forwarded by Alderman Tollerman to the council rather than any specific language, because the language hasn't been drafted yet. But I believe Sue is correct that it would not apply down on the Strand, because I don't believe there's any C2 down there that would fall under this, this legislation. So again, I mean, you're gonna adjourn this, you're gonna table this for next month when you have official language. Again, like last month, I would just ask that if there are questions that come up in the interim, like Andrea called me a couple of weeks ago to follow up, that you just contact my office in advance so that the issues can be addressed, so that when we come back a month from now, we're ready to move forward, one way or the other.
I feel comfortable moving to table this item until next month. Do I have a second? Thank you, Andrea. I'm going to call the roll. Hayes?
Aye.
Aye.
Kurt?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative. Thanks. Do we have the applicant for 23 West Pierpont, Julie?
He should be here. Jesus, are you here?
Everyone's muted. It's hard to tell.
There's a new caller on.
He should be here. I think that's him, number 7.
Caller, Jesus?
20.
Pierpont. Is anyone here on 23 West Pierpont?
Give it a moment, please.
Okay. Working through and Hayes, I'll defer to you when they come through.
Okay, so
Being called right now. Yes, I know, but I tried to. And it's not okay. Keep trying, and if not, call me back. I'll put you on speaker. Thanks. He's trying to speak, but he's not.
all right, let's wait and get him.
Hello.
There he is.
Hi.
Hang on.
I can hear you, Jesus.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, let's take it from. Okay, hey, so let's take it from the HAC Commission first. This is an application to rebuild a front street-facing bluestone retaining wall with new support posts, concrete footings, drainage, bluestone caps, with the use of the existing bluestone for the wall, new side railings to match porch. Jesus, do you want to walk us through what you want to do here?
Well, what I was trying to do is what the owner wants to do is to remove the bluestone retaining wall and redo it and redoing it with the new, Unilac block, the same way the retaining wall we used to be. But I think, when I went to apply for the building for permit to redo the new footings for the existing porch, to redo the new supported posts and a new footings, because that porch sitting on blocks, there's no footings in there. So I want to redo only the top floor decking, because right now it's plywood. So I'm going to do just regular pressure treated 1x6 pressure treated decking, and then do what we normally do, to 6x6 column, and it has to dig a footings 48-inch depth on the frozen line. But then they want to do the retaining wall and they was to replace it, the Bluestone, with Unilag. But what Steve told me, Jesus, you had to talk to the conservation department, because I don't think they're not gonna allow you to do that. So that's why I submit the application and see what you guys want me to do with the retaining wall, with the Bluestone retaining wall that is existing up there right now.
Is it not possible to retain the Bluestone for a new retaining wall and relay it?
It is. It is. I mean, absolutely, I can redo it if you want. But if it's that, I want you two guys write me a letter letting the owners know there is a big difference between doing replace retaining wall and do restoration work, because that is it's a lot of time consume and all this. I mean, it's going to cost more to do a regular, to remove and replace restore it.
It's going to cost more to restore it, you mean, than to replace it with
Correct.
interlock?
Correct.
Got it.
Correct.
So
So if you guys give me a letter and they say, listen, you cannot replace the retaining wall. You can replace it. You're not going to replace it. You can replace it, but you have to use the same material you have in there and do, just restore it the way it's supposed to be. It's reiterated because the weather, it is not a proper draining, draining system. So that's what I want to do, a new draining system, and try to do, what I have to do by, New York State local codes.
Jesus,
But in the
this is
reservation, I'm sorry?
This is Julie, Jesus. I'm gonna
Yes,
work
hi.
with you, and I'll let the owners know what's going on. But the wall that originally they wanted to replace it with is the exact same wall that was denied by the HLPC for a similar property around the corner.
Yeah.
So I just want the commission to know that it's the exact same wall as the one that we were looking at for Broadway.
Okay.
That they initially wanted to put in, but
Okay, that's fine. So if
repaired.
as long as you let it know the owners, it has to be restored the way that it has to be, and they has to know that the expense is going to be higher, because for the restorage, that's different thing with replacing or restorage, and that will be okay with that, because they will be understand that, because it's a historical building, and again, all the new steps in the railing is going to be I'm going to do the same railing. There is the front porch railing, so everything is going to be the same, and nothing will be changed.
Right. This is Sue, Jesus. And the
Hi, Sue. How are you?
the drawings that you submitted with your application, and that
Yes.
does say that you're going to reuse the same Bluestone for the wall and the cap. So the plans show it as being the stone being reused.
Yeah, because
because that's what
under the Unilock one, because both of us, I spoke with Jesus earlier, and we decided that wasn't gonna be the
it's not
case.
going to work, right? You guys are not going to accept that, and now and I can. It's not a problem. I can remove that wall. Take it apart, clean them up, and then put all this existing Bluestone, put it back, but with the new codes, with the new drain system, everything look nice and neat, and it will be the same stone. Whatever stone is there, I'm going to and it's a lot of new stone in there that was already started pull out. So the owners start just to pile on top of that, because they coming out for the same wall.
Okay.
But I will use the same stone. That's okay. I don't have no problem with that.
So what do we need to do? Sue,
Well,
do we?
yeah, I know.
would need to do the seeker, which is type 2 action, and then just make a motion, and in your motion, whatever you decide, I would presume you're going with the, this is for heritage, just restore it with the same,
With the same bluestone.
yeah, using the same
Okay.
stone wall and the same stone cap, and putting the drainage behind as per the plans submitted.
Perfect.
We don't need to reject the existing application about interlocking pavers.
No. He has the drawing up, you look online, the drawing online is with the using the same stone.
Using the same stone, correct. Because I know there was a deny the same in the same area. They deny somebody wants to do the same thing. So mine is well to redo the same thing. That's okay.
Okay, do I hear a motion to declare the retaining wall and restoration at work at 23 West Pierpont Street a type 2 action under seeker?
Oh, well, Mayor.
Michael Del Priore, do I hear a second? Do I hear a
Second by Bonnie.
Second by Bonnie. That motion's on the floor. Any debate on that? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes. Dean votes aye. Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
Michael Del Priore.
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
Okay, now do I hear a motion to approve the wall and restoration work at 23 West Pierpont using the existing bluestone for the retaining wall, but with new drainage? Do I hear that motion?
Motion by Bonnie.
Motion by Bonnie. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Michael. Motion on the floor. Any debate on that? Hearing none, I'll call for the roll call vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes. Dean votes aye. Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
Michael Del Priore.
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it. I'll turn it over to you, Mark.
You, Hayes. First, for Historic Landmark Preservation Commission, we have to declare this a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act. Do I hear a motion to that? Thank you, Andrea. Do I have a second? Thank you, Robert. I will call the roll. Hayes?
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
I also vote aye. Do we have any additional discussion of the proposal itself?
I just wanted to ask a question about the drawing that was submitted. On it, it looks like the driveway is listed as being new blacktop. And it looks like the drawing has that going all the way out to the street. And I just wanted to make sure that
It used to be to all the way out to the street.
Well, there's a sidewalk there now, or
It is a sidewalk, yes. Yeah, it's a concrete sidewalk between left and right. It's a continuous sidewalk, concrete sidewalk.
So
but the existing blacktop that was already being replaced, and that's the curb. We go to the curb side and go into the Pierpont Street.
So you're going to blacktop over the sidewalk?
No. It was the blacktop is going all the way down to Pierpont Street. There was no concrete or anything in there.
I think you're saying two different things. You're saying that the blacktop is going all the way down to Pierpont, but you're not going to pave over the sidewalk.
No. The sidewalks are where we wants to be replaced because they're very deteriorated and it's all concrete and it's gonna look the same way like it looks Broadway right now. They will just we replace it with a new concrete.
Right. Peter, this is Sue. I think what it is that right now there is concrete sidewalk in front of the structure itself, and
Correct, it is.
Driveway,
Yes.
at the driveway, it is currently blacktopped out.
Oh,
So
it
the
is.
sidewalk goes and then stops, and and then it's blacktop driveway right now. So they're just really replacing what's there.
Oh, gotcha. I'm
Yes.
on Google Maps and it doesn't show that being
Yeah.
black.
Okay, any other questions from members of Historic Landmarks? All right, then I move that the commission's present find as fact that the proposed rebuilding of a bluestone retaining wall in front of 23 West Pierpont Street in the Rondout Historic District by applicant Jesus Torres and owner Edgardo Platero, if done according to the plans reviewed at this meeting and according to the procedures stipulated in section 405-64 of the City of Kingston's Administrative Code, is compatible with the historic character of the building and the district for the following reasons. That the proposed work is to take place at the 2.5-story wood frame building with mansard roof, its facade facing southeast, situated on the north side of West Pierpont Street between Wirtz and Adams Streets, appearing on the 1851 ring-walled map of Rondout and retaining much of its original architectural integrity. That the proposed work will involve the rebuilding of the front street-facing bluestone retaining wall with new 6-inch by 6-inch pressure-treated support posts, concrete footings, drainage, bluestone caps, and the use of the existing bluestone. Also a new side railing to match that of the front porch, a new 4-foot by 8-foot poured concrete sidewalk, and new blacktop driveway. That this work will cause a material change to the external appearance of the property, that the wall repair will not detract from the character of the historic district or the building, and that any changes or additions to the plans or work specifically described and outlined in the submitted application will be subject to further review by our commission prior to such work being carried out. That this commission's approval does not obviate the need for a building permit from the City of Kingston's Building Safety Division or any other required approvals from relevant coordinating agencies. Based on the preceding findings of fact, it is proposed that we resolve on this 3rd day of December 2020 that the commission grant a preservation notice of action to the above referenced applicant for the work as described herein and in its application to the commission, such notice to be subject to the conditions contained in the foregoing motion. Do I have a second? Thank you, Andrea. All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call the roll. Hayes.
Aye.
Andrea?
Aye.
Robert?
Aye.
Peter?
Aye.
Kevin?
Aye.
I also vote in the affirmative. All right. Thank you, Jesus, for.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much, everybody. Have a great holidays, and I hope I can talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a good night. Take care. Bye. Yeah.
Are there any other items to be brought before Historic Landmarks tonight?
No, there is not. All you need to do
Then
is.
I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Hello,
Andrea.
Suzanne?
What?
Suzanne?
And Robert?
Yes. It's Nancy. Are we going into a different meeting for 485 Broadway?
Yeah, that's going to be just on the HAC Heritage. So you're on the next grouping. We're still
Okay.
getting.
All right, thank
All right, I have a motion and a second on a motion to adjourn. Any discussion? All right, I will call the roll.
Who seconded that?
That was Robert.
Robert?
Right, Hayes,
Aye.
Robert,
Aye.
Aye.
Andrea,
Aye.
Kevin.
Aye.
It's unanimous. We stand adjourned. Thank you everyone for coming out tonight, and I will be turning this over to Hayes for the rest of the HAC's agenda. So thank you and good night.
Thank you,
Bye,
Mark.
everyone. Happy holidays. Happy New Year.
Holidays,
Holidays, the landmarks.
see you in the new
Happy
year.
holidays.
Everybody's staying on that I need on, right? Dean,
Yeah.
Mike. Yep, we're good. All right. Next item of business for the Heritage Area Commission is 275 Fair Street, application for signage for Hamilton and Adams. Timely Signs is the applicant. Is Paul still on?
Oh, no, it's Tyson now. The boss
Tyson.
has left.
How are you?
How's everyone doing tonight?
Good.
Okay.
How is this sign different from what's up there already?
No, so Hamilton Adams actually is putting a second location right around the corner from their current location.
Got it.
Yeah, so this application is for some small window lettering as shown on the first page of that packet, which I'm guessing everybody has. Is that correct? Okay. And then the bigger
Excuse
thing
me.
is.
This was already approved by the HLPC last month.
Yes, thank you. So it's a hanging sign that we're actually moving the hanging bar up so that it meets the 96-inch to ground minimum. And we're also, the owner is putting City of Kingston as additionally insured for their insurance.
Any questions on that? It passes muster, Julian, Suzanne, in terms of dimensions and everything?
And there is one additional thing whenever you guys are ready.
Well, we're ready.
So at the HLPC meeting, it was discussed Nan Potter is looking to paint I have a picture of this here. So Nan Potter is looking to paint this facade here that is actually glass, the same color as Hamilton Adams' current facade, which is called Van Dusen Blue. Van Dusen Blue HC 156. And as it was explained in last month's meeting, that glass area, which I will bring back here, this glass area behind it is actually some type of a soffit. It's like built out from inside. So you actually would just see like construction material through that glass if there was not paint already on it. And the current paint is all peeling, as you can hopefully see in that photo. You see it's already peeling. So
this has got to be a separate application, right?
Suzanne allowed it last time for it to be added on to it. So as long as she still is agreement with
Yes,
that.
landmarks, we did that. We added it on. Hayes?
So what's her address?
Oh, no, Nan Potter is the building owner. She's the landlord.
It's the same building, same
Oh,
property.
I thought you meant it was like the adjoining storefront they were going to.
No. I was merely just trying to show that they want to paint that because it's the same store, just on a different street. They want to paint that upper facade area to match what their other building has. If that makes sense.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under seeker, the signage for 275 Fair?
Motion by Bonnie.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
I'll second.
Kevin McAvoy. Hearing no further debate on that, I will call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes. Dean raised his hand in the affirmative. Michael Del Priore.
Aye.
Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
Second order of business, do I hear a motion to approve the signage as presented for 275 Fair Street with the City of Kingston named as additionally insured?
I'll move.
Del Priore moves it. Do I hear a second?
Second by Bonnie.
Second by Bonnie. Any further debate or questions for Tyson on that? Hearing none, I will call for the roll call vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Michael Del Priore.
Aye.
Dean Barnes? Dean Barnes raises his hand in the affirmative. Bonnie Howland?
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you, Tyson. You're on
Thank you,
next.
everyone.
I'm sorry,
Hold
who
on.
made that motion and second, Hayes? On that one, who was the motion and the second? Mike was the motion?
I was the
And
second.
Bonnie was the second. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, thank you.
Next item of business, 12-16 Thomas Street, proposed signage for a restaurant. Again, timely signs applicant, Mateo Bella LLC owner. Walk us through this one, Tyson.
Yes, so that's that new addition that's been there for, I guess, a couple of years at this point now. They're like banquet hall for Little Italy. They've been calling it Bella Piazza. So as you can see in the drawing there, Frank Guido's Little Italy, they want to have as a front lit sign. So internally LED illuminated with translucent faces on it there to match their logo on the side of the building. And they want to put it over top. There's actually an awning there now, which you can't see in that photo. The awning is actually down for the season, but he is looking to put that lettering above the windows as shown.
Any issues with this one, Sue or Julie?
No,
Do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under seeker?
Motion by
I'll
Bonnie.
move. Second.
Second by Michael Del Priore. That motion's on the floor. Hearing no debate on that, I will call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes? Dean votes aye. Michael Del Priore?
Aye.
Bonnie Howland?
Aye.
And Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
Second, do I hear a motion to approve the signage, the proposed signage for 12-16 Thomas Street as presented by Timely Signs?
Motion by Bonnie.
Motion by Bonnie Howland. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Michael Del Priore. It's a motion on the floor. Any other questions for Tyson or any debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes? Dean raises his hand in the affirmative. Michael Del Priore?
Aye.
Bonnie Howland?
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy?
Aye.
Thank you, Tyson. Next
Thank you,
item of business is 114 Wall Street, proposal to renovate a front porch with new columns and railings, new rear yard deck, new windows, and the removal of one window on the north side of the house. Wright Architects is the applicant. Meredith Royal Dawson is the owner. Andrew, are you here?
no.
Good evening, everybody. No, it's Ian with Wright Architects. I'll be attending the meeting on behalf of the office.
Great. Walk us through what you wanted to do.
So the scope of the work is to restore the front porch, remove a window on the second floor on the north facade, install a group of 3-row windows, and integrate a deck in the rear yard / garden. So I know this will sound unusual, but we intend to reduce the footprint of the front porch and give it the initial Victorian proportions and the Victorian decorative elements as per our drawings. So that's the main scope. You can see in the support documents what's existing, and then our proposed will be the drawings.
Any questions of the applicant? Do I hear a motion to declare? Go ahead.
I'm
Michael?
just wondering, the porch is being removed and the deck is going all around it?
No, so the deck, the rear deck will be, I mean, we included in the application just because a corner is visible from the street. The front porch will be removed partially. As you can see per the support document, if you open that, you'll see on the last page the old structure, the old framing. So we're going to remove the front porch up to that beam and just add the Victorian decorative columns and spindles, railings, and stairs. Because as of now, it's just a rectangular shaped porch with siding.
So you're cutting the porch back to the original dimension.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's correct.
Is you're removing existing vinyl? What are you replacing it with? New vinyl or wood?
You can see it in the drawings. It will be just Victorian style spindles on both. I mean, on all three facades of the porch.
Right. So what material is it?
Oh, it's spindles. It's wood spindles.
Wood. That's what I was asking. That's all I was asking.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's a vast improvement.
Yeah.
We think so.
Any further questions of the applicant? Do I hear a motion to declare the proposed work at 114 Wall Street to be a type 2 action under seeker?
Motion by Bonnie.
Motion by Bonnie. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second.
Second by Michael Del Priore. That motion's on the floor. I'll call for the vote on that. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes. Dean Barnes raises his hand in the affirmative. Michael Del Priore.
Aye.
Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
Next, do I hear a motion to approve the renovation work at 114 Wall Street as presented by Wright Architects PLLC?
Motion.
Motion by Kevin McAvoy. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Michael Del Priore. Motion on the floor. Any further questions? Any further debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes. Dean Barnes raises his hand, voting aye. Michael Del Priore.
Aye.
Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you very much and happy holidays. Good night.
You too. Next item of business is 485 Broadway, a proposal to update and replace all existing signage at the Rite Aid Pharmacy. GNS Group Limited applicant, Cayman Realty Company owner. Somebody here to walk us through that.
Yes. Nancy?
Nancy?
I'll unmute you. Hold on. There you go.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, terrific.
If you could introduce yourself.
My name is Nancy Forrest, and I'm representing GNS Group, Gloating Neon Signs for Rite Aid Pharmacies.
Thank you, Nancy. This looks like a corporate changeover with Rite Aid signage.
Yes, it's a national rebranding.
Sue, does this sort of still comply with Broadway design standards
Yes, it does.
in terms of dimension, everything else?
Mm-hmm. They're
Any
actually getting a little smaller, correct, Nancy?
Parts of, yes. They're removing they're removing the pharmacy off the front and right elevation. They're replacing the pharmacy with the new logo. And it will still be, the letters are the color you see in the drawing, but at night the Rite Aid letters will light white, a soft white, and the same on the pylon sign. That's the same cabinet, just a new face in it with the new logo and letter style.
Is the illumination going to be brighter overall than the existing illumination?
No, I believe what they have now is white at night. It's blue during the day. It's a vision film that's used. So you can have a dark background on the light, a dark letter on a light background during the day to be visible. But at night, the building fades away and the letters light white.
Any questions or concerns for Nancy? Do I hear a motion to declare the proposed signage change at 485 Broadway a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act?
Motion on secra.
Motion by Kevin. Do I hear a second?
Second by Bonnie.
Second by Bonnie Howland. So motion on the floor to declare this a type 2 action under seeker. Any debate on that? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes. Dean Barnes raises his hand in the affirmative. Michael Del Priore.
Aye.
Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
Do I hear a motion now to approve the plan as presented for replace existing signage at the Rite Aid Pharmacy at 485 Broadway?
I'll move.
Michael Del Priore. Do I hear a second?
Second by Bonnie.
Second by Bonnie Howland. Motion on the floor. Do I hear any debate, or are there any other questions for Nancy? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes. Dean Barnes votes aye by raising his hand. Michael Del Priore.
Aye.
Bonnie Howland. Can't hear you, Bonnie. Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you, Nancy.
Thank you. Happy holidays, everyone.
You too. Next item of business is 38 McEntee Street, a proposal to install a 3.45 kilowatt solar array on the roof. Empire Solar Solutions LLC is the applicant. Jeffrey Simones is the owner. Are somebody here representing either?
Yes, hi. Hi, I'm Erin. I'm with Empire Solar. How are you?
Good, Aaron. How are you?
Good.
Can you walk
Jeff
us
here
through?
as well.
Oh, hi. Nice to meet
Hi,
you.
guys.
Can either one of you walk us through what the proposal wants to do?
Oh, yes. So like you said, we're installing a 3.45 kilowatt solar system on the roof. It's a small system. It's actually 10 Q-cell 345 watt panels with N-phase microinverters. They're black on black panels. The shingles are dark charcoal. It's south facing. There's no neighbor to the right that would be next to it. It's like an open parking lot. There's no neighbors across the street. And I provided pictures that would show kind of what it would look like, you know, if you were standing across the street looking at the view of the house.
Sue, how does this comport with regulations on front elevations?
Well, from the street, I mean, they're fine. They would be visible. I have a question about their reflectivity. What is that like, Erin?
Sorry, I had you unmute. They're made with these that's kind of a myth. They're anti-reflective glass that these panels are made with. And these ones are, like I said, black on black. So if you look at some of the older models, you can see like the white lines through them, which these ones are black and sleek.
Okay.
Anyone have any questions for Jeffrey or Aaron? Do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act?
Motion by Bonnie.
I'll second.
Motion by Bonnie, second by Michael Del Priore. The motion's on the floor. Any further debate on that? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes. Dean Barnes votes aye by raising his hand. Michael Del Priore,
Aye.
Bonnie Howland,
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
Now to the substantive matter, do I hear a motion to approve the plan as presented to install a 3.45 kilowatt solar array on the roof of 38 McEntee Street?
Motion by Bonnie.
I'll
Motion by
second.
Bonnie Howland, second by Michael Del Priore. Any further questions of Aaron or Jeffrey or any debate? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes. Dean Barnes votes aye by raising his hand. Michael Del Priore.
Aye.
Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
You too. Next item on the agenda is 126 West Pierpont Street, a proposal to install 16 SunPower E19-320-E-AC solar panels on the south side of the main roof. Greg Shaheen, applicant and owner. Greg, are you with us? Greg Shaheen, anybody for this applicant? 126 West Pierpont. Julie, do you want to try to get him?
Who is Paul? Oh. Can you identify yourself?
Paul O.
Paul O?
Sorry, I'm Paul Ostrander. I'm from Mid-Hudson News.
Okay, I just want to make sure you weren't with the applicant.
No, not at all.
Okay, and we have two callers on. Caller one, are you with 126 West Pierpont?
Yeah, this is Dave Rush from New York State Solar Farm.
Okay, all right. So you're with 126. Okay, we have
Correct.
then. Hey,
What? So are we reading this? So this really is, hold on. So this is 16 solar panels? Can you walk us through, Paul?
No, this is Dave.
Dave, this is
Yes.
Sue. Can you just go over what the project is? The Chairman Hayes was questioning the number of solar panels on the roof.
Yes, we're putting 16 panels on the roof. It's on the south side of the main house.
How big are the panels?
They're the same size as most everybody else's panels, 3 foot by 5 foot nominal size.
And so it's 2 decks or 3 decks of it or what?
Oh, there's gonna be 3 rows. It'll be 3 rows.
So it'll be 3 by 5?
They're all 3. Each panel is 3 foot by 5 foot.
No. But the grid is like 5 across on three rows.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
That's 15 panels.
That's 15 plus there's one that's offset out near the top. You should have had the plan set there.
Yeah, I was trying to pull them up.
Let me just see if I can pull it up.
I think it's page 8 of the PDF.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to picture this house. What's the corner? What house? What corner is this house on?
It sits back. It's the back house at 126. I think 128 sits in front.
What block is that? Is that between Wirtz and Hone?
This is close to Montrepose.
Oh, okay. Wait. Oh, okay. I know that house. So this is going on that garage building in the front or the main house in the back?
The main house.
So that's really not visible from the road that much.
It is not.
No.
And that's a pretty standard size array for a house like that. It seems just seems big. But no.
No, it's a little bit low. I mean, most of our systems are in excess of 25 panels.
Got it. Any other questions for Dave?
No, Greg texted me, and he's one of the callers. I don't know which one because it just says caller 1 and caller 7. And
I can unmute. Let's see. Okay, Greg, you might be caller
Yeah,
7.
I just wanted to introduce myself real quick, and I'm here if there's, anyone has any questions for me as well as the owner.
Is this going to be, as you're going up West Pierpont, is this going to be like from Ravine? Is it going to be on that side of the house or the side facing that apartment building?
It's the side facing the multifamily. So Ravine Street and West Pierpont, you won't see it at all. Or on Spring Street for that matter. The only street that you would see it on is sort of coming down Montrepose and then kind of turning left onto West Pierpont on the top bit, just a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, it's quite set up there. So it's not super visible, honestly.
So it's on the plane of the roof facing that apartment building, not on the part
Correct.
facing Ravine. Okay. You really won't see that at all.
Barely.
Any further questions of the applicant?
no, the only question I would have is, do I need to be recused? Because Greg and I work together at the Land Trust. I'm on the board. He's staff. Is that an
I
issue?
would say no.
Okay.
I sold this house a few years ago, but it was to a different owner, so I feel fine voting on it too.
Yeah, you have no financial gain in this
No.
application.
Do I hear a motion to declare this a type 2 action under seeker?
Motion by Bonnie.
Motion by Bonnie. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Second by Michael Del Priore. That motion's on the floor to declare the solar installation a type 2 action under the State Environmental Quality Review Act. Any debate on that? Hearing none, I'll call for that vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes? Dean Barnes raises his hand in the affirmative. Michael Del Priore?
Aye.
Bonnie Howland?
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy?
Aye.
Second, do I hear a motion to approve the installation of 16 SunPower E19-320-E-AC solar panels on the south side of the main roof of 126 West Pierpont Street as presented tonight?
I'll move.
Michael Del Priore makes the motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Second by Kevin McAvoy. Duly made and seconded motion on the floor. Is there any further debate or any further questioning of the applicants? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes? Dean Barnes raises his hand in the affirmative. Michael Del Priore?
Aye.
Bonnie Howland?
Aye.
Kevin McAvoy?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone.
Good luck. Anything else we need to discuss, Sue, or anything any commissioners want to bring up? Our next meeting is scheduled for January 27th at 6:30 p.m. Hope you can all make it and hope you all have great holidays in the interim.
Okay,
Do
I
I
do
hear-
have one quick thing. I'm going to be probably, weather permitting, one night next week. I have to go up to the planter and clear it out, and I have the snowman to put back up for the winter season. If anybody wants to help, give me a holler, and I'll coordinate with you the date and the time. It'll be hopefully like a maybe late afternoon before early evening.
Okay.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion by Bonnie.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
I'll take the vote. I'm Hayes Clement. I vote aye. Dean Barnes. Dean Barnes raises his hand in the affirmative. Michael Del Priore.
Aye.
Bonnie Howland.
Aye.
And Kevin McAvoy.
Aye.
The ayes have it. We're adjourned. See you all in January. Have a great holiday.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good night.
Everybody too. Yeah.
Good
Bye-bye.
night.